We are live. Greetings, people of WyoNation. This is the WyoNation postgame show. I am Chad Smith, and I am joined, as always, by Mr. Brad Reed.
Hey, guys. Got to see a fun football game this afternoon.
We are here to talk about the Wyoming 31-17 win over the Portland State Vikings, as Wyoming is now 2-0 on the season, Brad. 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
That's all you can ask for.
Well, they've won everything that's been put in front of them. That's all we can hope for right now.
That's right. And as entertaining as last week's game may have been, this was about the complete opposite.
Yeah, I think once Craig Bull realized that this game was probably in the bag, I mean, it was just grind out the clock and put this one to bed and avoid injuries. And so, probably no need to run up the score on Portland State. And they did have one, kind of garbage time touchdown there at the end, but I don't think the game was really all that competitive from start to finish. So, no need to drag it on. And the nice thing about the Mountain West, having the game on the Mountain West app is, in and out in 2.5 hours, 3 hours, and we can go about our day.
It was. I think, game time was less than 3 hours.
Yeah.
Which is great.
First half went in an hour and 15 minutes?
Something like that.
And that was with whatever limited TV breaks that the Mountain West channel took.
That's right. So, the big takeaways are, and you hit on them. 1, Wyoming won the game. 2, as far as we know, right, there was no major injuries. We didn't see anybody getting carted off.
No.
Or anything
Relatively
like that.
Low penalty game, too, which was nice.
Low penalties, yeah. We'll look at the stats here. And we have a comment here already from our friend Shay. Shay says, almost had to blame Chad on his stat before the game. What stat?
That's pretty funny because Shay texted me that before the game too.
Okay, what stat, Shay? Please enlighten us. Please enlighten me in the chat. Tell me what stat did I say before the game that nearly jinxed us?
At least it wasn't the stat from whatever college football predictor website where they had Portland State winning.
Yes, Odd Shark.
Then we would have had to really kick your ass for that. So
Odd Shark had Portland State winning. So while we wait for Shay, let's look at some of these stats here. Let me we'll do this. Let me share my screen. We will share the screen. We will get the official stats up on the machine here.
In case you're wondering, Texas Tech did force Oregon to punt on their first possession, so that's something.
Okay. All right. Now, total yards for this game, as you can see here, Wyoming 371 to Portland State's 344. I do remember because I tweeted it. Wyoming had 250 yards of offense in the first half. So only 120 in the second half. 170 rushing yards for Wyoming right there. Brad, I think I was expecting them just to run the ball a lot more efficiently than they did.
They were moving for over 6 yards a carry at some point in the third quarter. So
sure.
Yeah, I think some of those fourth quarter rushes where they were just kind of diving into the middle of the pile kind of skewed that stat. But up through 3 quarters, they were over 6 yards a carry. So I think that's probably pretty efficient.
Yes, you're probably right. Here, Shay is timed in. Yeah. Shay says the Odd Shark. That was the stat. It's not really a stat. It was an algorithm. The algorithm and the ether of all the different predictors out there.
That doesn't mean you're not part of ISIS, though.
And he did. He said, I am pretty much ISIS on that stat before the game. Wow. Harsh words.
That's why
let's look at here. Average. I had a different. Here we go. This is what we want to look at. Wyoming rushing 4.4 a carry for the game.
Yeah.
Sam Scott 11 for 70, 6.4. Peasley 6 for 43. EQ James, 14 for 33, and then Farrell, 5 for 18, including his first rushing touchdown as a Wyoming Cowboy.
Then we got some sweet wide receiver action today too with Sirasante
Yes,
jumping into the end zone. 2 catches,
Asante.
2 touchdowns. Pretty good. Pretty good day.
And that was, I guess, the key for me in this game is offensively, they did work on the passing game, and hopefully it will breed some confidence, especially getting Asante into the mix here. Only 1 catch last week. 2 catches today. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, 78 yards.
And notice that all 3 of Andrew Peasley's touchdowns went to wide receivers this week, with Wyatt Whelan catching the other one.
True. Whelan also had a good game. 3 receptions here for 50 yards and a touchdown.
His touchdown was pretty sweet. He just had to stand in the end zone and catch it.
And only 3 receptions by the tight ends, none by fullbacks and running backs. So a lot different game plan than we saw last week against Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, rushing wise, let's just see here. We talked about it a little.
And I saw another stat here. Portland State's quarterback, however you say his name, Shasheri or whatever. As much as he kind of took off with the football, I don't know if the stat's different on the stat stream you got there, but ESPN has him as 17 for 5 yards.
Oh, rushing?
Yeah, the quarterback.
Let's see here. Satchery.
There you go.
17 for 5. But he had a touchdown.
But he got sacked a lot too.
Yeah. So sacks going to that. He averaged 0.3 yards a carry.
Not great.
The sacks. So yeah, let's bring up the defensive numbers.
He was slippery. He was tough to get his hands on, but they did sack him a few times.
I'm not cranking my neck so much. Wyoming had 3 sacks on the day and 9 tackles for loss. 1.5 from Goodbow. A half from Siders, and then 1 apiece. Well, that doesn't. Oh, yeah, and then 1 apiece from Bertanoli, and then Suanoa with 1 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought the defense did pretty good today, except for the tackling was a little sloppy. But again, probably just the fact that the drop down in competition today, maybe they weren't as focused.
I don't know if it was a drop down in competition. It seemed like half of Portland State's team played at FBS last year.
True, yeah. They were transfer U.
Smokes.
We'd have to look at the roster, but yeah, pretty much everybody. And a lot of them from the Mountain West. They had guys from San Jose State. They had guys from Boise. Shay wants us to bring something back. What, Shay?
Texas Tech's touchdown.
What do you want us to – oh, they brought back Texas Tech's touchdown.
Yeah.
Well, this is not the Texas Tech post-game show. I hate to break it to you.
If you're a college football fan like me, you've got multiple games streaming right now, and I just happen to have Tech in Oregon and Weber State and Northern Iowa and Texas and Alabama. I got football everywhere right now.
That's good. All right, let's go back to the home feed here. Peasley 11 of 16. 201 yards, 3 touchdowns, 69%.
Efficient. Nice.
We'll take that, right?
Nice. Efficient day.
And in the ones he missed, right, he could have probably been like something crazy, like 14 for 16 if Marquez fell down on that pick.
Say his interception, the receiver fell down, so that's not usually too helpful, but things happen.
He short-armed a couple other throws with bad mechanics, and even on the TV they were talking about he's a good quarterback. He's just inconsistent. And I'd say,
they kind of doomed him though, because they were talking about how he's a great athlete and a good quarterback. And then like 3 plays later, he threw that interception. It's like, man, you guys got to stop saying things.
Be quiet.
Stop it. Stop giving people compliments.
Sargent got a catch today. And he's a guy we've been hearing a lot about. I mean, they were even talking him up when he was a true freshman. So it's time for some of these wide receivers, right, to step up. It's not like there's a whole lot of talent at the top in the way. It'd be good to see some of these guys get worked in, these younger guys, and step up. I mean, he's an athletic guy. I think he's a 3-star recruit. Was wanted heavily by his hometown team of Utah State, but decided he didn't want to live in Utah anymore, apparently.
Wow.
So
crazy.
But he had a nice athletic catch. So it'd be good to see.
Remind me on this. Wasn't he like the highest rated receiver we've like straight up high school recruited in quite a while?
Yes, I do believe. I mean, 3-star receiver to come to an offense that doesn't throw the ball is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see. Shay has a comment for us. Let's bring it up here. He thought that the coaches had a good called game today. Boys didn't execute great, but overall a good game plan. Yeah, I can't fault the game plan.
Nope. Got it over with quickly and on to next week.
Yeah. So, and then shortly before the game, we actually did get a line, which you and I talked about midweek.
Really?
And it was 28. Which, right, that's too big of a number. Wyoming is not going to beat anybody by 28 unless the other team turns the ball over like 5 times.
Say Portland State started that way, so
they did. Yeah.
They were well on their way to starting like that.
And then let's take a look at special teams, of course. And I guess the highlight of the week of special teams again is #RedShoeMan hits another 56-yarder.
It was good from a little bit past that even.
Heck of a kick. Stewart, not so great on the punting. 3 for 116.
Boy, that one he landed at midfield was bad.
Yeah.
Like a 20 or 30-yard punt.
I wish it would put net on here because net's really the yardage doesn't matter. Net is the biggest thing, but they don't have it, which is weird. Let me see if they have it on the main board here.
So somebody brought this into my mentions during the game. Buttersquatch on Twitter, comparing John Hoyland with Cooper Roth and who the better kicker is. I think that's a tough question to answer.
Yeah, if memory serves me correct, like Scrappy Turtle, Cooper Roth.
Scrappy Turtle
was very accurate.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he had the big leg, as big of a leg as
I think Hoyland's got a bigger leg for sure. I think Roth might be probably a little bit more accurate. And he was literally a Groza finalist, so no slouch in the kicking game.
I don't know. Yeah, look up what his career long was really quick. I want to say that like he was more of like a 40 to 45-yard guy.
Yeah, but he was just crazy consistent.
But really good. I mean, yeah, if he was making a kick, but I know that's just my recollection of things.
Yeah.
But you could tell me, Chad, he's hit like 8 50-yarders, and I'd be like, oh, okay. Well, then I'll be quiet.
Ooh. So his career stats for field goals were 76%, 97% on extra points with a long of 53.
Okay.
And he did that as a senior.
53 as a senior, sure. Okay. Well, either way, you're not going to go wrong with either kicker.
No. Yeah, and I think, if I remember right, I think Roth, his senior year, when he was a finalist for the Groza, I'm pretty sure that was the year that Rodrigo Blankenship won it, who went on to have a 2 or 3 year NFL career before he lost his mind. So,
yes, the spectacled, goggled kicker.
Maybe that's a thing. Maybe just glasses on kickers can't be a thing.
Speaking of kickers, did you see I only saw it once, and I didn't check again because they didn't really score much. But Portland State's, at least, I don't know if it was their kicker or the kickoff specialist, but the guy who was doing kickoffs for them was wearing a mask underneath his helmet.
Wait, like face mask or like eye mask?
Like a mask, like a black mask, like covering his face. You could only see his eyes. Like he had his face covered up. His nose down was covered in a black mask.
Interesting.
And somebody on my Twitter feed said, well, maybe they are from Portland. Maybe he's Antifa. He's just wearing his black mask everywhere that he goes. I'm like, yeah.
Maybe he's Bane.
He's Bane. And if he is Bane, then why didn't he rip the field in half like Bane
Or
would
do something more productive than be a kicker.
Maybe defensively,
but kickers are like notoriously weird. Like maybe he's just a weird person, like, and that's his like weird thing. Like, I'm just gonna wear a black face mask all the time.
Maybe, yeah. Or maybe he had a cold or something. It could have been something like that, right? Maybe he was a little sick and he didn't want to spread it to the team, but they suck so bad, right? You can imagine how, I mean, D1 schools have a hard enough time finding good kickers.
Yeah.
I imagine at the FCS level, and you probably see it, probably really bad to find good kickers.
Yeah, just watching the local team here, they have struggled for years to find some consistency at that position. I think they finally got a guy this year, but
yeah. So it could have been as something as harmless as maybe he had a cold.
I like the idea that he might be just kind of weird, and that's what weird people do.
Or he's a psycho, and this is my lucky mask.
Yeah.
We'll have to do some digging on this. Do you guys play Portland State this year?
Yeah, in Hillsboro.
Okay. Well, there we go. Maybe you can watch and see if he's still wearing it when he plays the game.
I will be slightly intoxicated in Baton Rouge that weekend, so probably not.
Wrong game. All right, let's look at the draft chart while we're here. And I wish, can I blow this up so I don't have to screen? Yeah, here we go. Look what I can do here. So I don't have to turn my neck clear to the other screen and I can look at everybody. Let's take off this chat and I can actually see this. So Wyoming. I wonder how many plays we ran. Does it say on here?
Should. I think I've seen that stat on there before.
12 drives. Doesn't say.
Couldn't have been that many plays.
Probably game. Yeah, at halftime, I think it was like 25 plays or something.
Yeah, I mean the first drive I think was only their first scoring drive I think was 3 or 4 plays.
55 plays.
Wow.
Right, and so that's what you're seeing. Like the bottom of football now is there are a lot of teams getting like in the low 50s with the new clock rules.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I thought that this was good for Wyoming, but now I think it's bad for Wyoming, the new clock rules, because it shortens the game so much. If we're not effective in what we do, we're not going to score any points. I mean, 50 plays is nothing.
No.
That's nothing.
Geez, if you're a team, like Texas Tech or, some of these schools, they're up there in the 90s, when they finish a game.
Yeah. Let's see here. We have a chat probably from our friend Shay. Let's see. He says, is it cutting it off? Overall, it was good win today. Now on to Austin. Bull was not happy today in his post interview. I'm sure he saw a lot of stuff like we all did. The sloppy tackling, number one. But again, I think it's just a natural letdown. You beat a Power 5 team, and then you're hosting a bad FCS program. And so, again, we should be happy. We won, and nobody was injured.
His on-field interview with the Mountain West Network lady was really short and really awkward.
At the end of the game or at halftime?
The one at the end of the game.
Okay, I was already.
She asked a question about Asir Asante, and he was like, "He did good today," and then he just like ran off.
Okay, he's like, "Who?
What are you doing?"
The wide receiver. What? We don't have wide receivers on this team. Yeah, and really, as I said, kind of a meh game. Not every game is going to be a barn burner. A lot of energy and emotion was burned last week. And
another good crowd in attendance today.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know if it has the attendance on here. Did you see the number?
I haven't.
It looked to me probably in the
25 4 or 5,000, something like that, I bet.
You think? No.
Yeah. It looked pretty full.
I was thinking like 17,000.
No.
Let's see. Let me see if they have it here. I don't know where they do it sometimes.
22,021 is what what ESPN has.
Oh, you're right. Right there, 22-121. Okay, well, never mind then. All right, that's a good crowd for Wyoming. It's a great crowd.
Yeah, for having Portland State in town, I would say so.
Beautiful day, 75 degrees, and then game time, 2 hours, 52 minutes.
Rolling through that game.
Flowing on by. Oh, and I forgot that you can see my screen. Duh. So there it is. Oh, yeah. So I think we both kind of said 35-10, I think is what I said. You said 42-10 maybe. And our really unofficial, we have no idea type of prediction. So not that far away.
We hit the over, so that's all that matters.
And then one of our...
No, we didn't hit the over.
One of my Twitter followers actually predicted 28-17 before the game.
Close.
So he damn near nailed it. I think that was Brian.
Yeah, Brian had that one. He was really close.
Yeah.
He made sure to bring the receipts after the game, too, I saw.
He did. Yes. Go ahead.
Said that's all we needed.
That's all we needed. That's right.
I just saw a stat, and Oregon's 81 points last week was the most in the modern era. Against Portland State.
Oh, I mean, for Portland State or of all football?
81 was the most points scored in the modern era of football, apparently.
Which is post 1940 or something?
I don't know.
Something like that. What's modern?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't, because I think if you go in the history book, doesn't Wyoming have a game where they beat Denver or Northern Colorado 108-3 or something ridiculous?
Yeah, it seems like the biggest blowout in all of football history was involves some school named Cumberland, I think it was.
Cumberland, yeah.
It was some ridiculous score.
But Wyoming's got one up there, I think, where they scored 90 points against some school in 1920.
It's hard to do.
I'll look that up and I'll post that on Twitter later this weekend. So glad to see everybody here in the stream with us. If you go to the YouTube stream, which is at WyoNation on YouTube, you can be like our friend Shay and you can comment. If you're watching on Twitter, you can go ahead and ping one of us, tweet at us if you have a question, and we'll get to it. Right now, I don't see anything on my Twitter feed.
Nope.
Kyle says the kicker from Utah State, from Portland State might have COVID. Well, I think if he had COVID, he probably would not be playing.
I don't think they test for it anymore, so...
Well, maybe not. That's true. I don't know. I mean, what's the protocol? If you have COVID, can you play?
Yeah, I would assume you probably could.
Okay. Here we go. Shay. Oh, Shay's got the score.
103-0 against
there we go.
Northern Colorado.
So I almost nailed that. Said 108.
And you almost got the school right.
Yeah, I knew it was Denver or Northern Colorado. I knew
it was a Colorado school, yes.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that for sure. Thank you, Shay. See, we don't need on-air research. We'll just have Shay do it for us.
Shay's he's our resident Jake Marsh, as it were.
Yeah, boom, Eddie Talboom era, he says. Thank you, sir. All right. I will stop sharing this screen unless there's another stat you'd like me to see. So I think we're good.
I got nothing else for you.
Yeah, I mean,
I haven't seen the official press release come out for the game, so.
Why is this not going away? I said in share. I hit the wrong button. There we go. Maybe I should figure out what I'm doing before what's going on? And now it's doing weird stuff to me. Okay. Hold on here. There we go. All right. Sorry. Little user error on my end. It was blowing up. All right. Shay's got a question. And I think we pretty much answered it, but I'll let you take it, Brad. What do you guys think about today? A dub is a dub.
Dub is a dub. It's all that matters. Obviously, some cleanup work to do from the team, but I'm almost positive that Bull's going to have them out there on the field early in the morning tomorrow, cleaning those things up, as it were.
Well, probably not on a Sunday, but Monday for sure.
Maybe tomorrow too. He might be pissed enough to do it.
He might be so crotchety he was not going to give him a day off after a win.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't be against it, but
I mean, it's punishment, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Again, a win is a win, and nobody got injured that we know of. So we move on to the next task, which will be much tougher. Maybe. Again, I don't know how good is Texas, right? So Wyoming is at Texas next Saturday night in a 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Yep. On the Longhorn Network, which I don't know what that means. So I don't know if you can get that on ESPN3 or watch ESPN, or if you only have to have that. But I'm sure the Wyoming press release for the game, which will come out Monday, should have the details.
Yeah, it's on one of those magical networks that nobody knows or has or cares about. So
we'll see. I'll do some research too, maybe today, to find out. But will be a way to watch the game, I'm sure, if you're outside of the state of Texas, because I don't know where else would they even have the Longhorn Network other than the state of Texas, and maybe the bordering states, maybe Oklahoma, you might be able to get it, or
I wonder if it's part of Hulu Live.
Louisiana. Could be on Hulu. But one way or another, we will all find a way to watch the game. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Can't stream the game on OnlyFans, Shay.
Shay gets that network. Out in Virginia there? What?
I mean, it is Longhorn Nation, right?
I guess.
Whatever.
I guess.
Hey, they're beating Alabama right now. Check them out.
Okay, yeah. What's that Scar's going to say? They're playing Alabama, so let's hope that they get beat to shreds, right? They have injuries. Maybe the quarterback gets knocked out, and a couple other skill players, and they lose. But they're beating Alabama, is what you're telling me.
It's only 3-0 in the first quarter.
Okay. And is that game in Austin, or is it in Tuscaloosa?
Tuscaloosa.
I should have known that. Alabama doesn't play non-conference games on the road.
Except for last year when they went to Austin.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah.
You remember that.
Other than that, no.
Well, usually SEC teams don't. Like, what was the stat?
Well, Florida hadn't left the state of Florida they hadn't left the state of Florida for a non-conference game in some obscene years. And then I went back and kind of researched it.
Yeah.
And Florida hadn't left the South to play an actual game.
Yeah.
Since they played in the Fiesta Bowl for their national championship or something like that.
I know, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was, and that was the only time they'd left the South in 20 some odd years.
Yeah. Well, because there's a lot of teams in Florida, obviously. So you
can play those. But even if you're Alabama, how often do you leave the South to go play a game?
Hardly
or
ever.
Georgia. Yeah. Unless it's a neutral site game, like a bowl game or something like that, you probably never leave.
Yeah, there's no reason to.
Yeah, and
no incentive.
When you have more money than most governments, then you can do what you want, I guess.
Yeah. So is this Texas Alabama game a conference game?
No.
Not yet.
Soon.
It will be next year.
Yeah, next year Texas will take this L on the chin for a conference loss.
Hey, you know what we can do? Because I haven't been paying attention. Let's take a look at the Mountain West scores.
Oh.
That's usually what I started with last week as people were coming in. I have no idea who played today and what. I've been.
I don't think there's a lot of games even started yet.
So
I saw San Jose State was beating Cal Poly by quite a bit.
Let's see what that is, and we'll share the screen here.
Also, I saw this yesterday. Have you seen San Jose State's stadium renovation?
No.
It's a good possibility that it might be the worst stadium renovation I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, their stadium was horrific to begin with. It's worse than what it was.
Yeah. And so they basically knocked out one entire side of the grandstands.
Okay.
And they put up this weird concrete building that has some suites in it, but it's a giant concrete wall with some grass below it. And then you see some suites kind of on top of it. It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. And that's what the camera's pointed at. So the camera's pointed at nobody being at the game, basically, which is pretty
that
on brand
seems
for
like
San Jose State. But
a stupid thing to do.
oh
All
my
right,
God,
I've
it's so
got the
horrible.
scores of the Mountain West. Let's get them shared here. So, as you said, San Jose State, your Spartans are beating the crap out of Cal Poly 59-3.
Cal Poly is a really bad team this year, too.
They are. Boise is playing UCF in a high-profile Group of 5 game.
Hopefully that's a high-profile ass kick.
7-3. Yeah, it would be great to see Boise State go 0-2. I mean,
yes, that would be.
When's the last time that's happened? Probably
I don't know, but I'm really
20 years,
for it.
30 years. I'm all for it. Let's see it. I might watch this game. Idaho is beating Nevada.
I think Idaho was favored in that game too.
14-3.
Idaho's not a road beater, but Nevada's just that bad.
And then San Diego State is playing UCLA. Interesting. That's on CBS. Wow. So there you go. Back-to-back weeks where the Mountain West is getting primetime CBS game.
Hosting
too. Wow. Yeah. Later is Air Force versus Sam Houston. I don't know, why is Air Force playing these crap schools?
Sam Houston moved up this year. They're in like Conference USA or some shit.
Oh, okay. Because last week's Air Force played, I think, like James Madison, or not James Madison.
No.
They played one of the other Patriot schools that's got a Patriot name.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember.
Robert Morris.
Oh, yeah.
That's who they played.
But yeah, Sam Houston's hosting FBS school now.
Tennessee Tech. Utah State is hosting Idaho State. We've got Fresno State in Eastern Washington, and then out on the islands tonight. What a haul! UA Albany going from Albany, New York to Hawaii.
What channel is that?
That's got to be like the longest road trip any school could take.
Unless you go Maine to Hawaii.
That'd be the only one that would beat it, because I do believe
New Hampshire.
Albany is like northern New York.
Yeah.
That's a haul. Northern New York to Hawaii.
I mean, there's a lot of FBS schools like right in that New England area. Maine, New Hampshire, Dartmouth.
The only other final is right here. Michigan beat UNLV 35-7.
Yeah. That was out of hand early.
Oh, yeah. I saw this, Shay. Shay says JMU beat UVA today. Well, that's not surprising.
They did.
I think JMU is on the way to D1 too, aren't they?
They've already transitioned up, but they were ineligible for a bowl game last year.
Yeah.
So I don't get that either. Like, why are we punishing these schools when they move up? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Who are we protecting? If you win 6 FBS games, you're bowl eligible. There's no need to do this whole transition thing. That's so stupid. Like,
it is stupid.
Makes me insane.
Oh yeah. So there's a lot of Mountain West football here. Starting at 6 and 7 if you want, and then if you really want to stay up, you can watch. Hawaii's only an 8-point favorite against Albany.
What does it say? What channel that's on?
It doesn't. I'm sure it's on.
Oh God, it's probably on Spectrum Hawaii.
It's probably on Spectrum. You could probably stream it if you really want to watch.
Oh, I'll find it. I'm one of the sickos out there. I'll be watching.
You'll watch some Hawaii. Hawaii's apparently 0-2. Who the hell have they lost to already? The Fun Belt, says Shay. Shay says JMU's in the Fun Belt.
Yeah,
JMU's a good school. They won the national title at FCS. Did they win 1 or 2?
They beat Montana for 1 in 04.
Shay says they're also ineligible this year.
Oh, geez. What
that's lame as crap.
Yeah, what a dumb rule.
So is UVA ineligible? So I think if you lose to an eligible team, you should also be ineligible. How about that? That's going to be the new Chad rule. That's going to be the new Chad rule. You lose to a team who's ineligible to go to a bowl game, you are ineligible. Also, bye. UVA, you're done.
To be fair, I think Virginia is going to play their way that way anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Let's see here. It looks like, they played Vanderbilt and Stanford, which is...
Yeah.
And they played Vandy close. And, Stanford somewhat close. And then they get to play Oregon. My goodness, who makes their schedule?
People that hate them.
Yeah. At Oregon. And then New Mexico State.
Just watching the first quarter of this Oregon Tech game, I think Oregon is probably a class above Texas Tech.
Just maybe.
Watch me have to eat those words in the fourth quarter.
All right. go back. So yeah, that was fun. It's always good to talk about the conference. And so Wyoming will be playing. Oh, it looks like the Sheep are on a bye this week, which leads me into. Let me kill this here. Next week, for the Sheep, while we're playing Texas, the Sheep will be playing in the Rocky Mountain Showdown in Boulder.
Oh no!
In that circus.
A third week of Deion Sanders being obnoxious. I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah, and again, they're on Big Noon. So I don't know how CU gets 3 games in a row on Big Noon, but whatever. Good for them.
Well, I think Game Day is going there next week too.
And Game Day, they announced that Game Day is going to Boulder for the Colorado State game.
Can we talk about Lee Corso? I think
I don't watch Game Day anymore. So
I think they need to let Lee Corso just ride off into the sunset.
In like 10 years? I thought, he had like a stroke, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's not good. Poor guy.
It's just getting kind of hard. Like I think Herb Street kind of just hold him up during a good part of the broadcast too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad to see.
But he did.
I thought they replaced him. Honestly, I thought McAfee was the guy who basically replaced him, but
not quite yet. Well, he replaced David Pollock.
Oh, he replaced Pollock. Okay, I don't watch. Game Day hasn't been relevant in 20 years. I don't know.
They had to let go of David Pollock so they could pay for Pat McAfee's podcast. So
I like how the WyoNation postgame show is now delved into a college football free-for-all, which is fun.
Hey, man, things happen.
It is.
I mean, all you're doing is depriving my dog of a walk, so.
True. We could wrap up. We've been going for 40 minutes. I only really wanted to go for 30. But we appreciate everybody tuning in.
Alabama tied it.
To the show. And we have worked all the technical kinks out. We're going to be able to start posting these on YouTube on the main channel instead of just the live ones, so you can catch the replays. And we're going to try to get a regular schedule during the week. I think Mondays might be the day where we do a show, and then post games when we can. Might not be able to do a post game every week, but we'll try to do as many as we can.
Might be a late one next week.
Yeah, if the game starts at 6, it's not too bad. It's on TV. Yeah, it might be a 4-hour game.
Yeah.
Could be a late one, but that's fine. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I mean, if Wyoming beats Texas and Austin, are we going to say it's too late? We're not going to do a show?
Well, I will be at Washington Grizzly.
You will be gone. Yeah, you will not be there.
Watching the Grizzlies take on the mighty Ferris State Bulldogs.
I think we'll recruit Shay. We'll just tell Shay, don't go to sleep. Even though we know Shay goes to sleep at like 7.
That's Eastern the dad life, man.
Shay's got says your dog can hold it.
He's sleeping on the couch right now.
Terrible. It's okay. All right, let's get back to Wyoming here, and we'll wrap up. Any final thoughts on the 31-17 win? What's your one takeaway? Let's end with that.
2-0. That's all we care about.
There we go.
2-0. That's all we care about. Maybe Reese Davis will be nice enough to give us another vote in the poll this week.
There we go. And then, for me, I guess we won with the horses we have. We'll have some more horses hopefully coming back in the running back department. Not that the running game's bad, but I am in the belief that we need a horse.
I think if we can get Harrison Whaley for next week, I think that would go a long ways to improving the odds of keeping this game close or potentially winning.
Maybe. And that may be too much of an ask for him to come in and
come in and be a horse. That's all we need.
Texas, and have like 25 carries. But I think he can lean into that for conference play.
Yep.
Because again, I thought the running back rotations were weird today again, to where, okay, I understand. They want to get everybody some reps, which is fine. But they were switching people off in the middle of a series, which I don't understand one bit. You got to let guys get rhythm.
You know, and it kind of looks like to me that Sam Scott might be kind of pulling away.
Yes.
I mean, he was definitely the most effective back today. I thought DQ had a couple of nice runs, but a lot of time, and I kind of was thinking this, like,
Yeah.
a couple of times I saw him run, and he just like ran like into his own guy, and I'm like,
Boom.
DQ.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, stop doing that. It's easier if you don't run into your own guy, and then you can
Yeah.
keep running.
Was he? Oh, I can't believe we haven't talked about this. Was he the one? Was he the running back where he ran into the back of, I think, Crum? Maybe it was the right tackle. Is Crum the right tackle or the left tackle? Can't
I
remember.
don't remember.
But anyway, the running back ran into the back of the offensive lineman, and the offensive lineman basically just grabbed him and started pulling him up the field and turned like a 2-yard loss into like a 5-yard gain because he just drug him like by his neck.
Yeah, and I'm sure that'll get fleshed out in the running back room this week. But
That's funny.
he had one kind of jet around out to the outside, and like he just ran into like where all the guys were. I'm like, just cut inside of that where there was no guys.
Yeah. I can't remember. It might have been Farrell on that play, or I can't believe you didn't see it. Obviously,
no, I did not.
Oh, it was hilarious. Yeah. I mean, the offensive lineman, because it's legal now, you can be pulled. The offensive lineman, like, he ran into the back of him, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And he turned around and like grabbed him and like started like dragging him up the field. He ran into Barnett. Says Shay. Who was it? Was it DQ?
That's
Shay's
funny.
got like the memory of all memories.
He's already watched the game in replay again.
Probably. Who was the running back, Shay? Help us out. Was it DQ? Or was it Farrell? Or was it Sam? That's one of those three. I've got it narrowed down to one of our 3 running backs.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah. I'm waiting for Shay.
Oh, that's holding.
Shay. Shay says it was Barnett. Shay, are you listening?
He's got to go back and rewind. He's got to rewind the feed.
Letting everybody down.
He's got to rewind the feed.
Maybe he is. Oh, he says it was DQ. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would make a lot more sense. I think it'd be a lot tougher to drag Scott and Jameer.
Yeah. But it was funny.
DQ you can drag pretty easily.
I've never seen anything like that in my life. But you're right. He did. He like literally like ran right into the back of the right tackle. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's maybe where Scott maybe is starting to pull away a little bit in that running back room until Whaley comes in.
So, yeah. And then I don't know the update on, was McNeely done for the year?
Yeah. Yeah. He blew his ACL.
Okay. I can't remember.
Yeah. Yeah. He's done.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a nice compliment back last year. So that's a shame, but hopefully he'll be back for 2024 ready to go.
Sure. All right. Enough rambling and bambling from us. Thank you to everybody for joining us on the stream. I think we will be back, I guess, Monday night.
Yep.
With a preview of the Texas game and whatever leftovers are coming out of this. And, hey, we appreciate you sticking with the WyoNation. We have a good time doing these things. And we will talk to you guys soon.
Go Pokes.